What if I told you that the reality you know is not the only one? That all of your choices, from the smallest decisions to the major turning points, create alternate versions of yourself, living completely different lives? It may sound like science fiction, but what if I told you that this is a theory taken seriously by both modern physics and ancient spiritual traditions? Let's explore what you don't yet know about parallel realities and how this knowledge can literally transform the way you see the world and your own life. Imagine for a moment that, right now, there are infinite versions of you living completely distinct lives. Some of these versions have made choices you never even considered. Others, perhaps, have already achieved everything you desire. The most surprising thing? All of these versions coexist at the same time, in dimensions beyond your perception. But what if I told you there's a way to access these realities? To align your consciousness with a version of yourself that is already living your greatest dreams? Maybe you've already felt something strange, like déjà vu, that sensation of having lived through a situation before. Or perhaps you've experienced synchronicity, those moments when the universe seems to align perfectly with your thoughts and intentions. What if these moments aren't mere coincidences, but cracks in the walls of parallel realities, where you glimpse an alternative version of yourself? These phenomena could be more than simple curiosities. They may be clues that the universe is far more vast and complex than we ever imagined. The concept of parallel realities isn't just a theoretical question. Science is beginning to discover that, at the quantum level, the world operates in ways that challenge everything we believe to be possible. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, every decision creates a split in the timeline, generating a new reality where a different version of you exists. We're not talking about something distant and inaccessible. These parallel realities are happening right now, in this very moment. But what does this mean for you? It means that right now, you could be living a completely different version of your life in another reality. A reality where you took a path that you didn't choose here. Perhaps it's a reality where you've achieved your most ambitious dreams or where you've overcome challenges that seem insurmountable. What's even more fascinating is that, according to various spiritual traditions, it's possible to access these realities through your mind, through your consciousness. Does it seem impossible? Let me tell you a secret. Throughout history, sages and mystics have spoken about the existence of multiple realities. Science and spirituality are beginning to converge, showing that the power of the mind goes far beyond what we've been taught. Some cultures and ancient spiritual traditions believe that we can come into contact with parallel realities through altered states of consciousness. Practices such as transcendental meditation, the use of entheogenic plants, and other consciousness-expanding techniques open doors to these realms. Deep meditation, for example, is a practice used by many to transcend the limitations of common perception. By slowing down the mind and quieting thoughts, it's possible to access dimensions beyond our physical reality. These transcendental experiences aren't just metaphors. Many people report intense experiences of alternative lives during these practices, as if they were accessing versions of themselves in other worlds. This leads us to ask, what if, in a state of deep connection, we are actually jumping between alternate realities? Now, imagine if you could deliberately choose which of these realities you want to experience. If every decision you made was a step toward a version of yourself more aligned with your dreams and desires. This is not just a theory, it's a practice that can change your life. With every conscious choice, you begin to shape the path you walk between these parallel realities. And this brings us to a crucial question: how intentional have you been with your choices? If every action you take opens doors to new realities, are you aware of how you're shaping your future? The power to manifest an alternate reality is in your hands. Perhaps the version of yourself that is living your greatest dreams already exists somewhere. What you need is to learn how to tune into that version and bring that reality into your present. To start understanding how all of this works, we need to talk about the science of parallel realities. At the quantum level, everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. What we call reality is, in fact, the result of our observations. Quantum physics suggests that, until something is observed, all possibilities coexist. This means that, before you make a decision, there are infinite possibilities ready to manifest. And which of these possibilities do you choose to manifest? This is the key to understanding the power you have over parallel realities. You may be living in one version of your life, but there are always other doors to explore. One of the most fascinating theories supporting the existence of multiple realities is the many worlds interpretation, proposed by Hugh Everett in the 1950s. Quantum physics, which studies the behavior of subatomic particles, revealed that these particles exist in more than one state at the same time, as if they were multiple versions of themselves coexisting. However, when these particles are observed, they choose a specific state. Everett's theory suggests that instead of collapsing into just one reality, the universe splits to accommodate each of these choices. In other words, for every decision we make, a new universe could be created. There is a version of you that chose to follow one path, while in another parallel universe, another version of you took a completely different direction. Let's bring this to a daily example. Imagine you're at home, ready to start your day. You find yourself standing in front of the coffee maker, asking yourself, coffee or tea? According to the many worlds theory, when you make this decision, two realities emerge. In one, you choose coffee, and live the consequences of that choice. Perhaps you feel more energized, have a productive morning, and solve some problems. In another reality, you opt for tea, and that small difference could change the course of your day. Maybe the tea leaves you calmer, and you make different decisions, creating different experiences. While this choice may seem insignificant, think about the future decisions you'll make in a single day. Each one, from the clothes you wear to the route you choose to get to work, creates new possibilities and, possibly, new realities happening in parallel. Thus, versions of you could be living completely different lives based on decisions you could have made. Now, take a moment and reflect. If every decision you make can create a new reality, the impact on our daily lives is immense. A simple career choice, the moment you decide to move to a new city or end a relationship, all of these decisions have the power to create parallel realities where versions of you are living completely different experiences. These parallel realities make us realize how our choices shape not only our lives but potentially multiple lives. Every "what if" that's ever crossed your mind. What if I had chosen a different job, or what if I had said yes to that opportunity? Could be happening in another universe, where the consequences of those choices are unfolding. This concept reminds us that we are the architects of our lives. Our decisions, even the smallest ones, can have a profound impact, creating different realities. And who knows? Perhaps the versions of ourselves in other realities have completely different stories. With each choice, we shape our present and our future possibilities. Have you ever experienced moments where everything seems to align perfectly and mysteriously? These events, known as synchronicities, are often considered signs that the universe is responding to your journey. But what if these synchronicities are more than just coincidences? There is a theory that suggests synchronicities may be moments when two realities briefly overlap. Imagine that in a parallel reality, you make a different decision, and for a brief instant, the two realities meet. These encounters can leave subtle traces in your life in the form of meaningful coincidences. Thus, synchronicities could be like small windows that give us a glimpse into other versions of our lives, connecting what we see and experience with these other realities. These events are not mere coincidences but rather subtle patterns that reveal the connection between different realities. When you experience a synchronicity, it's as if an invisible line is connecting 2 points, one in your current reality and another in a parallel reality. For example, you might meet someone at exactly the right moment, or an unexpected opportunity may come your way. These occurrences are signs that the barriers between realities have become permeable, allowing influences from other versions of your life to cross into your present world. Many spiritual and esoteric traditions believe that synchronicities may be messages from the higher self or from universal consciousness itself, guiding you through different paths and possibilities. The feeling that something meant to be is happening may be a reflection of this communication between dimensions. As you become more aware of these occurrences, your sensitivity to these signs increases, allowing for more intuitive navigation between the different versions of reality unfolding around you. In this way, synchronicities can serve as beacons, pointing you toward a more aligned alternate reality with your deepest desires and purposes. How many times have you dreamed of situations so real but completely different from your current life? There are theories that suggest dreams are not just random creations of the subconscious but portals to other realities. When we sleep, our minds are not bound by physical barriers, and it's possible that we are traveling through parallel dimensions, experiencing other versions of ourselves. Now, imagine that while you sleep, you are exploring an alternate version of your life. Perhaps it's a life where you made different decisions, followed distinct paths, or live in a completely different world. When you wake up, these memories may seem distant, but what if they are real? What if your dreams are fragments of another existence? Dreams can also be seen as a way to access elevated states of consciousness, where the limitations of physical reality no longer exist. In many shamanic and spiritual cultures, dreams are considered journeys to other dimensions, where the soul can explore different versions of the self. From this perspective, while we sleep, our consciousness may detach from physical constraints and cross the veils between realities, allowing us to experience alternative lives. In some cases, these dreams can be so vivid that they leave a lasting impression, almost as if we were recalling memories of another existence. There is also the theory that certain types of dreams, such as lucid dreams, where the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming, can be a tool for intentionally navigating these parallel realities. When you are in a lucid dream state, you have the opportunity to consciously interact with the environment, make choices, and perhaps directly influence the course of another timeline. This raises the question, what if, in these moments of lucidity, you are actively shaping an alternate reality, choosing different paths from what you would in waking life? In this way, dreams not only show us glimpses of other lives, but they may also be the key to influencing them. One of the most intriguing concepts related to parallel realities comes from quantum physics, with famous thought experiments like Schrödinger's cat. In this experiment, a cat inside a box can be considered both alive and dead at the same time until it is observed. This superposition of possible states only resolves when there is conscious observation, meaning reality is defined by the act of observation. Although purely theoretical, this experiment raises profound questions about the role of consciousness in creating reality. It suggests that all possibilities coexist until a choice or concrete observation is made. Schrödinger's cat is a powerful metaphor for understanding the nature of parallel realities. Before observation, all possible realities are in a state of superposition. Every choice we make, every path we take, creates a branching in the timeline, like a fork where multiple realities can emerge. This is related to Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation, which proposes that with every decision, the universe splits into different realities, with all options coexisting in different dimensions. The connection between these scientific ideas and the concept of parallel realities lies in the perception that the universe is made up of a field of infinite possibilities. These possibilities are not just theoretical, they manifest at a quantum level and can be reflected in our everyday lives. When we understand that the act of observing or choosing a path is what collapses these possibilities into a single reality, we begin to realize that the life we are living is just one of many possible versions. And what if, on another plane, you had made a different decision, taken another path, or lived somewhere else? These versions coexist, and science is only beginning to scratch the surface of this vast array of realities. Beyond the Schrödinger's cat experiment, other thought experiments, like the grandfather paradox, explore the complexity of alternate realities. The grandfather paradox suggests that if someone traveled back in time and killed their own grandfather before their father or mother was born, that person would cease to exist, creating a temporal paradox. This raises the question of how actions in one reality can affect other timelines and parallel dimensions. These experiments illustrate that as we expand our understanding of time and space, we begin to consider the interconnectedness of all realities. These paradoxes and thought experiments are not merely academic exercises. They help us reflect on how everyday decisions, as well as major life choices, shape our reality and how each of these choices can generate a branch in a parallel universe. Quantum physics proposes that our reality is not fixed but fluid, and that the potential for multiple realities is always present, waiting for a conscious choice to bring a particular version of the universe into existence. When we talk about parallel realities, we're not just referring to distant theoretical physics but to a concept that, in practical terms, can impact how we live our lives. Parallel realities invite us to expand our perception of the nature of existence and time. At every moment, infinite realities are unfolding, and, on a deep level, we have the power to access and influence these different versions of ourselves. Accessing parallel realities, however, is not just a matter of conscious choice but also of altered states of perception and deep reflection. As we expand our understanding of how parallel realities can be accessed, we also begin to reflect on how our thoughts, intentions, and choices shape these realities. Quantum physics suggests that the universe is in constant creation, and we, as conscious observers, play a fundamental role in the unfolding of these realities. By changing our perception, intuition, or focus, we can alter the timeline we are on and potentially create a reality more aligned with our deepest desires. If every choice generates a new timeline, it's crucial to understand that the power to access and create an alternate reality is in our hands. What you think, feel, and do creates ripples in the quantum field, which spread across the multiple realities in which you exist. By becoming conscious of this process, you are no longer a victim of fate but the architect of your own life experiences. The conscious practice of living in alignment with this perception may be the key to intentionally navigating parallel realities. Science provides us with the theoretical foundations, but it is spiritual practice and self-awareness that allow us to directly experience these other dimensions. When we open our minds to the existence of multiple realities, we begin to realize that there is much more beyond what we can see and touch, and that every choice and every thought can be a bridge to a completely new universe. By exploring parallel realities, we are essentially exploring ourselves. Each version of you in a parallel reality represents an aspect of your being, and accessing these realities is a way to integrate all your possibilities. The idea that we can change our reality is central to both science and spiritual practices. Through the power of free will and manifestation, we are able to access and influence the multiple realities that coexist with ours. In other words, every decision, no matter how simple it seems, has a direct impact on alternate realities. When you choose a path, you are simultaneously discarding others, and it is in these moments that parallel realities are created or explored. The choices we make in our lives play a fundamental role in the creation of our reality. From the moment you decide what to eat for breakfast to deeper choices like changing careers or ending a relationship, every decision opens doors to different realities. It's as if with every choice, new timelines are generated, each with a version of you following a specific path. Free will gives us the ability to explore these different realities. If all possibilities coexist, then conscious choice becomes the primary tool for shaping the reality in which you want to live. This is the true power, knowing that by choosing with clarity and intention, you can steer your life toward an alternate reality more aligned with your desires. Quantum science shows us that we are observers and co-creators of reality. Thus, every decision not only influences the present but also resonates across multiple realities. The practice of manifestation, often discussed in the field of personal and spiritual development, can be seen as a way of accessing alternate realities. The idea is that by focusing on a specific intention or desire, you are vibrating at a frequency that resonates with a version of your life where that desire has already been realized. Parallel realities offer infinite possibilities, and manifestation is a way to sync with the most desired timeline. When you visualize what you want, you are not just dreaming. You are aligning your thoughts, emotions, and energy with a reality where what you want has already happened. This means that by maintaining this clear and constant vision, you begin to attract circumstances and events that lead you to that reality. By understanding that each choice and thought is part of the manifestation process, you realize that the power to change your life is always in your hands. Now that you understand the impact of your choices and the relationship between manifestation and alternate realities, I propose a practical exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and clearly visualize something you desire. Imagine yourself living in a reality where that desire is already true. See all the details of that life, where you are, how you feel, who is around you. Absorb this experience as if it were your current reality. While holding this vision, focus on feeling the joy and satisfaction of having achieved that desire. The key is to vibrate at that emotional frequency, feeling as if this is already part of your life. This visualization exercise is not just daydreaming but a way to align your energy with the alternate reality where your desire has already been realized. Over time, you will begin to notice subtle changes around you, as if the universe is responding to this vibration and bringing you the necessary elements to manifest that reality. This daily visualization practice, aligned with the understanding that you can consciously choose which reality you want to access, transforms your perception and gives you a powerful tool to co-create your life. Each time you choose to vibrate in harmony with the desired reality, you strengthen the path to reach it. The power lies in realizing that parallel realities are available, waiting for you to make the choice to access them. As we reflect on parallel realities, we encounter some of the great questions of human existence: the purpose of life, the nature of the soul, and what it truly means to be conscious. A fascinating concept that emerges from these discussions is the idea that we are already living multiple lives simultaneously. What if, instead of existing in just one timeline, all versions of ourselves were occurring at the same time in different realities? This idea is not only philosophical but also aligned with quantum theories, which suggest that time and space may not be as linear as they seem. What if, in one of these parallel realities, you made completely different choices? Perhaps you chose another career, another partner, or followed a different spiritual path. These alternate versions of yourself could be living lives with other challenges, successes, and lessons. While we are conscious of only one of these realities, the idea that other versions coexist simultaneously opens up a vast field of exploration. This leads to a new perception of who we are and the impact of our choices. Are we, on some level, connected to these other versions of ourselves? In the spiritual realm, there are traditions that suggest the soul is a multidimensional entity capable of exploring multiple paths of learning at once. Instead of experiencing just one timeline, the soul could be unfolding in multiple parallel realities, each offering unique lessons and experiences. These distinct realities would not be disconnected but rather parts of a greater whole, working in harmony for the spiritual evolution of the soul. In this way, your current life may be just one piece of a much larger puzzle. When thinking in this context, the purpose of life takes on new depth. Each version of yourself in different realities may be contributing to a specific learning, which, when viewed together, creates a rich and multifaceted soul journey. The experiences lived in each of these realities intertwine, so that, on a deep level, the lessons learned in one reality can influence the others. It's as if your soul is navigating multiple dimensions at once, expanding its wisdom and consciousness in all of them. If we dive even deeper into this concept, we can connect the idea of parallel realities with profound spiritual teachings, such as Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness represents a heightened state of unity with the universe, where we recognize that all things are interconnected. In this state of consciousness, the barriers between different realities and versions of ourselves dissolve. Christ consciousness invites us to see beyond the limitation of linear perception and to realize the fundamental truth: we are infinite beings, exploring multiple dimensions of existence simultaneously. In this context, parallel realities are not just a scientific or philosophical curiosity, but part of a broader spiritual journey. By accessing higher states of consciousness, like the state of unity that Christ consciousness proposes, we can glimpse these other realities and even interact with them more consciously. This means that by raising our vibration and expanding our perception, we can integrate the lessons from other parallel lives, accelerating our spiritual evolution and gaining a better understanding of our purpose within the grand scheme of the universe. By connecting these ideas, we realize that parallel realities are not just about the choices we make in daily life, but about a deep entanglement between our soul, our purpose, and our connection to the universe. Everything is happening simultaneously, and as we expand our consciousness, we can access these deeper truths and explore the richness of who we are on multiple levels. When we talk about parallel realities, many myths and misconceptions arise, especially due to how these ideas are presented in popular culture. One of the most common myths is the belief that parallel realities are completely inaccessible and distant. This view suggests that these realities exist somewhere beyond our comprehension and that we will never be able to interact with them. However, as we explored earlier, there are various ways to access and even influence these realities, whether through meditation, visualization practice, or even dreams. Many spiritual traditions and scientific theories suggest that while we may not see these realities directly, we can feel their subtle influences and interact with them in more esoteric ways. Another common myth is that parallel realities have no direct impact on our daily lives. The truth, however, is that we are constantly creating and navigating between these realities, whether we are aware of it or not. Our choices, thoughts, and intentions shape the path we follow and create new timelines and alternative realities. The idea that parallel realities are separate from our daily experience is, therefore, a mistake. They are interconnected and can influence events, emotions, and even our perception of time. A fascinating phenomenon that may be related to parallel realities is déjà vu. Many people have experienced the sensation of having already lived a situation before, even though it's impossible in the linear context of time. Some scientists and spiritual theorists believe that déjà vu could be the result of an overlap between parallel realities. In this brief intersection, we might be accessing memories from another version of ourselves, living in an alternate reality where that situation has already occurred. This idea suggests that déjà vu is more than just a momentary glitch in the brain. It may be evidence that our consciousness is capable of, for a brief moment, capturing fragments from another timeline. The feeling of familiarity could come from the fact that, in an alternate reality, we've already lived that experience or made a different decision. This phenomenon gives us a clue that, while we are not always aware of the other realities, they are closer than we imagine and can occasionally cross the path of our conscious perception. The convergence between science and spirituality in the study of parallel realities is an area full of exciting discoveries. Quantum physics, for example, is challenging traditional notions of reality by showing that subatomic particles can exist in multiple states at the same time, until they are observed. This concept of quantum superposition is one of the theoretical foundations for the idea of multiple coexisting realities, suggesting that the universe operates on a level of infinite possibilities. At the same time, ancient spiritual practices, such as shamanism and mystical Eastern traditions, have been talking for centuries about the existence of multiple planes of reality. These traditions teach that through altered states of consciousness, we can access other dimensions and parallel realities. Modern science is slowly beginning to recognize the value of these practices, especially in studying the effects of meditation on the brain and the changes in perception it can provide. This union of science and spirituality creates fertile ground for the exploration of alternate realities. Both quantum physics and esoteric practices suggest that reality is not fixed but fluid, shaped by consciousness and choices. As we advance in the study of these ideas, we begin to realize that parallel realities are not just a distant theory but a fundamental part of our existence. As you explore these ideas and open yourself to the possibility of accessing and influencing parallel realities, the power to shape your reality is in your hands. Believe in the process, trust in your ability to make conscious decisions, and align with what you wish to manifest. Don't underestimate your capacity to co-create with the universe. Every choice you make is shaping your own journey among the infinite possibilities surrounding you. Just like a drop of water is part of the vast ocean and a grain of sand contributes to the vastness of a beach, your like and subscription make all the difference for the growth of the channel. If you've watched this far, don't forget to like and subscribe.